With just days left in the November 2024 election, Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrats are saying they're working on the cost of living crisis, when in fact they're plotting to spike your gas prices in the days after the election. Coming up, what all voters in California need to know about their secret plot to spike our prices and what we're doing to fight back. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California. And have you seen Newsom and the California Democrat politicians out there? They're just begging you for votes, saying, oh, we care about you. Oh, it's expensive to live in California. Well, no, duh. You all have caused a cost of living crisis by increasing taxes and imposing all sorts of costly regulations and mandates on us that spike our cost of living. And now, like the arsonist, you want to pretend to be a firefighter. No, this is insane. You caused the problem. You should be booted out of office for the financial stress, pain, and suffering you've caused working families in this state. Now, one of the things that Newsom is trying to gaslight on is gas prices at the pump. He claims that the oil and gas companies are responsible for the big increase that we pay in California compared to the national average. He says the oil and gas companies, they're price gouging in California. Oh, so are we to believe that oil and gas companies only have a desire to maximize profits just in the state of California? Does that explain why we have $2.50 higher gas prices per gallon than the national average? Bitch, please, we're not that dumb. But the media, of course, is going along with this nonsense. Governor Gavin Newsom just recently did two things that will increase your gas prices immediately after the November election. The first is that he signed into law a reckless bill that will spike the cost of gas, because it goes after gas refineries. Now, mind you, in this state, the reason why we have higher gas prices is, number one, we don't pump oil in our state. They reduced state and domestic production of oil in California. And as a result, whereas in 1985, we got 5% of our oil from foreign countries, today we get 55% of our oil in California from foreign countries. So in other words, we're lining the pockets of Middle Eastern countries that don't respect human rights. That's not very woke. But more importantly, they're doing their oil production with less environmental sensitivity and standards and protection. And then they ship the oil in tankers here to California, which causes all sorts of carbon emissions. It's not good for the environment, and it costs us more. Second, the oil and gas prices are higher because of taxes, mandates, and various other regulations that other states don't have. And third, we are not allowing oil to be refined into gasoline in an efficient manner because we have choked the ability of refineries to operate through costly mandates and regulations, but also we haven't approved a new refinery since 1978. 1978, that's right. You know, when Jimmy Carter was last in office. Although some days with Biden, it seems like Jimmy Carter is still in office. We also have seen a third of the refineries close their doors since 2008. And when you lose that many refineries, the supply plummets. And as a result of supply going down, you have price spikes. You have higher costs. But Newsom is adding fuel to the fire by saying that those refineries need to produce extra gas and then store it, not sell it, pay the price for the storage facilities, which means that it's just another massive regulatory cost added to the refining of gas in the state. As a result, refineries are shutting in record numbers now. The latest is Phillips 66 announced 2 days after Newsom signed this crazy law that they would close their refinery in California. It is absolutely insane. And this is going to spike the cost of gas. Some of them are saying that it's going to cost an extra 50 to 75 cents a gallon when all these regulations are implemented. Oh, but it's worse. Aside from this crazy law on refineries and regulating, adding new regulations to them, there's a new California Air Resources Board mandate that will be implemented that will spike the cost of gas at least 50 cents by 2026. And now that unelected group of bureaucrats, they don't want to tell us what they're doing. They're not even responding to records requests under the California Public Records Act law, which is everyone's right to go and inspect government documents. They're non-compliant with the law. KCRA's intrepid reporter, Ashley Zavala, who's doing a great job, she's got the story.
The California Air Resources Board is bucking calls to be more transparent ahead of a key vote next month.
By the way, the vote is after the election, conveniently timed, right? To increase gas prices by 50 cents a gallon after the election.
They're considering updating the state's low carbon fuel standards, and that move is expected to raise gas prices. The thing is, the board won't say by how much.
Oh, they did say by how much. A year and a half ago, they said it was 50 cents a gallon. Now they're saying, oh, maybe we got that wrong. No, you didn't get it wrong. Oh, if you did get it wrong, it's probably on the low side.
Yeah, that's created some frustration. KCRA 3's Capitol correspondent Ashley Zavala spent a week trying to get CARB to talk, and she joins us now with where we are.
Golston, in an effort to understand what gas prices will soon look like in California, we have spent the last 7 days asking the Air Resources Board to sit down and do an interview with us. The board is an unelected group of people appointed by the governor.
Oh, appointed by the governor, but he blames the oil and gas companies. It's not my fault. It's your wingnut left-wing nonsense board members that you appoint. And they basically follow his instructions. He wants higher gas prices. The left in California, they don't like gasoline. They want to make it so damn expensive for you to actually drive your car that you're forced into the government transportation system, which is just unsafe, unsavory, and not very convenient.
It's been inconsistent on the estimated cost to consumers at the gas pump on that upcoming vote, which is happening 3 days after the election in November. The governor and lawmakers from both parties have called on the board to be more transparent, but it's not happening.
To the degree that they should provide more, I'm for more transparency, absolutely.
That's what Governor Newsom said after I told him the California Air Resources Board.
I'm for more transparency as I basically let my appointees that I can fire and tell them what to do to continue to stonewall compliance with the open records, open meetings laws.
Ignored my first email to them last week asking about the potential impacts of its upcoming vote on its low carbon fuel standards. The LCFS program will financially impact the oil and gas industry, meaning higher prices are likely at the gas pump. Aside from the governor, Republican state lawmakers also urged more transparency in a letter to the board this week, requesting they delay the vote and be upfront about what the new standards will mean for California drivers.
Can we have a breather? Can we know how this is going to impact working Californians?
The board has hardly followed these calls, ignoring our repeated requests for an interview over the course of a week.
All of them are Democrats, left-wing lunatics. All of them are far-left Democrats. Some of them are local elected officials. But they're all left-wing appointees of the governor.
And only willing to provide written statements. The board has not been able to keep its story straight about what prices might look like. Last year, it said 47 cents per gallon, but walked that number back when it outraged the public.
That's right. When people find out how much things actually cost, then you have to start cooking the books. But again, I think their 47 cents per gallon, 50 cent per gallon increase is actually on the low end of the estimates. We actually have at reformcalifornia.org a story up on the $2 per gallon the campaign to stop the $2 per gallon state of California gas tax. That's right, $2 per gallon. Right now, and here's our calculations. State excise tax is 60 cents or 59.6. It'll go up in July, 6 months after the election. Cap and trade tax is 28 cents to at least 35 cents. Sales tax, 12 cents to 15 cents. CARB regulation costs, that's that Air Resources Board, 23 cents today. It's going to go to 75 cents by 2026. And then, of course, we have the underground storage cost, 2 cents. Federal gas tax, 18.4 cents. And then, of course, the oil and gas penalty tax which we don't even know what that's going to be. That's going to be implemented this coming year. And then on top of that, these new refinery regulations that are just mandated by this law that the governor just signed into effect, that's going to start kicking in next year. This means that we're going to have a $2 gas tax levy in the state of California by 2026. You wonder why our gas is $2.50 per gallon more today? Regulations and all these various charges. You're going to see $3.50 very soon. Mark my words. Look, at Reform California, we're fighting the cost of living crisis by actually trying to slash costs for you. We think you should be able to keep your money and not have to pay for the mistakes and flawed extremist policies of California liberal politicians, but we need your help. First, go on the website and share this story about the $2 gas tax levy that's coming up and how we're fighting it. Second, we need your help by sharing this video because people need to know before they vote that they're going to get sucker punched at the pump by California Democrat politicians, and they should probably factor that into their voting. Vote the idiots out of office. Third, share our voter guide. We do have our plain English voter guide online at reformcalifornia.org, or you can get to it directly at electionguidecalifornia.org. It's a plain English description of all the state propositions. Plus, we reveal the 470 hidden local taxes across the state that are hidden on your ballot. Chances are you have 2 to 3 of them on your ballot, so vote no on all the tax increases because of the cost of living crisis. And finally, we endorse candidates from top of the ticket all the way down to school board and judge races. We vetted all the candidates so you know who the left-wing lunatics are and who the common sense leaders are who are worried about your cost of living and the price of gas. Check out that voter guide at reformcalifornia.org, chip in a contribution, and vote in this election. Your vote absolutely matters. Don't let them get away with this scam where they tell you during the election they're fighting to reduce cost of living, but after the election, they're going to spike your gas prices and then so many other things about our cost of living. Vote and get your friends to vote with their pocketbooks. Until next time, Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.